The Power of Revision: How to Gently Rewrite Your Past and Transform Your Future. Most people carry their past like a heavy backpack: old arguments, embarrassing moments, harsh words from parents or teachers, times they froze, failed, or felt rejected. We replay these scenes over and over, often without realizing it. Each replay strengthens the same old painful story: I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. People don't really care about me. Something is wrong with me. But what if the past is not as solid as it seems? What if the events themselves are over, and all that's left is how they live in your memory, and what those memories make you believe about yourself now? That's where the power of revision comes in. Revision is the practice of going back in your imagination to a past event and gently rewriting it so that it ends in a way that supports you instead of hurting you. You are not denying that something painful happened. You're choosing to update the emotional file in your mind so that it stops running your life today. This isn't about pretending or lying to yourself. It's about recognizing something incredibly hopeful. The past only exists in your memory and imagination, and your imagination is yours to shape right now. In this article, we'll explore what revision actually is and why it works, how the past lives only in memory, and how that frees you. A step by step method: pick a memory, freeze it, rewrite it, replay it. Positive examples: revising an argument, a bad grade, an embarrassing moment, and a rejection. How revision can shift your self concept and dissolve guilt or resentment. A guided revision exercise you can do immediately. Ways to use revision daily for a kinder, lighter life. Take your time with this. You don't have to fix your whole past today. Even one revised scene can brighten your present. 1. What is revision in simple terms? Revision is the art of re-experiencing a past event differently, not to erase what happened, but to change its hold on you. Imagine your memories like short movies stored in a library. Each time you pull one out and watch it, you feel the same emotions and confirm the same story. I was humiliated. I failed. They didn't want me. Revision is like taking that old film reel, editing the ending, and putting it back on the shelf in a new form. The next time your mind goes to that memory, it has something new to work with. I was supported. I recovered. I was chosen. When you lovingly rewrite events in your inner world, you're not rewriting history, you're rewriting your relationship with history. And that makes a visible difference in how you feel, how you act, and what you dare to create now. 2. The past lives in memory. Here's a hopeful truth: the past is not happening anymore. It only exists in your mind as stories, pictures, sensations, and emotions. The event itself is gone. What remains is how you remember it, what meaning you attach to it, what you decided about yourself because of it. You might think memory is like a perfect recording. It's not. Memory is more like a story you keep editing, often without noticing. Every time you recall a moment, you're actually reconstructing it, and that reconstruction can be nudged in a kinder direction. For example, a teacher snapped at you in school. Over time, you might remember not just the words, but a whole identity. I'm stupid, I'm slow, I'm not smart enough. A breakup or rejection might turn into a deep belief: I'm unlovable, I'm always too much or not enough. But those conclusions were never the only possible meaning. They were one interpretation often made by a younger, hurting version of you who did the best they could at the time. Revision allows the wiser, more loving you of today to visit that memory and offer a different meaning. I was overwhelmed, not stupid. That person couldn't see my value. That doesn't mean I don't have any. I did the best I could with the tools I had. And then, through imagination, you give yourself the support, kindness, approval, or understanding you didn't get back then. This isn't fake. It's emotionally honest. You're saying, yes, that hurt, and I refuse to keep hurting myself with it forever. 3. The revision method, step by step. Let's walk through a gentle, practical revision process. You can use this with big or small memories, but it's often easier to start with something moderate. Step 1. Choose a specific memory. Pick one event that still stings when you think of it. It could be a conversation where someone was harsh or dismissive, a test or project where you failed or got criticized, a social moment where you felt embarrassed, a time you were rejected, left out, or overlooked. Make it specific: one scene, one moment, one memory. Ask yourself, what moment keeps coming back and making me feel small, ashamed, or hurt? That's a good candidate. Step 2. Freeze the scene. Close your eyes and mentally step back into that moment. Where are you? Who is there? What's being said? What's happening right before you feel the hurt? Let the scene freeze right before the painful part hits the hardest, before the insult lands, before you see the grade, before the laughter or the rejection. You're pressing pause. Step 3. Ask, what did I need in that moment? This is the heart of revision. Ask gently, if that younger me could have had anything in this moment, what would they have needed? Maybe they needed someone to stand up for them, an adult to say, "You're not stupid, you're just learning," a friend to say, "Hey, that wasn't funny, don't laugh at them." A different outcome, a kind teacher, a better grade, a warm response, a yes instead of a no. Let your heart answer, not your logic. Step 4. Rewrite the scene in your imagination. Now, in your mind, let the scene play forward. But this time, give your past self what they needed. That might look like the teacher softening, apologizing, or explaining gently instead of attacking you. The crowd not laughing, instead, someone changes the subject, or someone says, "It's okay, we've all been there." The email saying, "You got the job," instead of, "We've chosen someone else." A parent saying, "I'm sorry, my reaction was wrong. You are wonderful just as you are." You can also insert your current self into the scene, stepping in beside your younger self. You stand next to them, put a hand on their shoulder, and say, "I've got you. You're not alone." You face the other person and say calmly, "That's not fair. They deserve kindness." You lead your younger self out of the room into a safer place. Make the revision scene feel as warm, empowering, and supportive as you like. This is your inner world. You're allowed to be generous. Step 5. Replay the new scene until it feels familiar. Repeat the revised version a few times in your mind. See the kinder faces. Hear the more loving words. Feel what it's like in your body to receive support instead of attack. You may feel emotional. You might cry tears of relief. That's okay and often very healing. You're giving your nervous system the experience it needed and never got. Over time, as you revisit this revised scene, you're teaching your subconscious. This is the version we're keeping. This is the emotional truth we're choosing now. You'll find that when your mind goes back to that memory later, it starts to gravitate toward the revised version or at least feel less painful. 4. Positive examples of revision in action. Let's explore some specific uplifting examples to show how this can look. Example 1. Revising an argument. Original memory. You're a teenager at the dinner table. You share something you're excited about, a dream, a creative idea, or an opinion. A parent shuts you down harshly. "That's ridiculous. Be realistic. People like you don't do things like that." You remember the sting, the heat in your face, the lump in your throat as you go silent. After that, you stop talking about your dreams, how it lives in you now. Fear of speaking up, belief that your ideas are silly or too much, a habit of downplaying your desires. Revision. Freeze the scene just after you finish sharing your dream, right before the harsh words land. Ask, what did I need? Perhaps encouragement, curiosity, even simple respect like, "Tell me more." Rewrite. Your parent looks at you, pauses, and says, "Wow, that's interesting. I may not fully understand it, but I'm glad you have dreams. Let's talk about how you could explore that." Or if that feels too far from reality, add your current self at the table. You speak up. "Hey, wait. Their ideas matter. It's okay for them to dream big. You don't have to understand it to be kind." Replay the scene a few times, feeling what it's like to be heard and supported. Over time, this revision starts to soften the belief that your dreams are ridiculous. You might notice yourself sharing your thoughts more, taking small steps toward ideas you once dismissed. Example 2. Revising a bad grade or failure. Original memory. You studied hard for an exam or presentation. You were nervous but hopeful. Then you get the grade, the score, or the feedback, and it's bad. Maybe a teacher or boss said something sharp. "I expected better from you." This is disappointing. You felt your heart drop. Maybe people saw. Maybe you felt exposed and ashamed. How it lives in you now. Deep fear of trying and failing. Procrastination because, "Why bother? I'll just mess it up." A belief that you're not smart or capable. Revision. Freeze the scene as you're about to see the grade or hear the comment. Ask, what did I need? Perhaps a sense of being valued regardless of performance, or constructive feedback without humiliation. Rewrite. You see the grade. It's not what you wanted, but the teacher says, "You worked hard, I can see that. This grade doesn't define you. Let's figure out how to support you so you can do better next time." Or your current self appears next to you and says, "You're still enough. This is just information, not a verdict on your worth." Replay the scene, savoring the feeling of support, safety, and unconditional worth. As this revision sinks in, you may find it easier to take on new projects, ask for help, and see criticism as feedback rather than a death sentence. Example 3. Revising an embarrassing moment. Original memory. You're in a group, you spill something, forget your line, mispronounce a word, or say something awkward. People laugh. You interpret the laughter as cruel or mocking. You want to disappear. How it lives in you now. Hyper awareness in social situations. A voice that says, "Don't speak, you'll embarrass yourself." Replay of that moment late at night. Revision. Freeze the scene at the moment you realize you've made the mistake. Ask, what did I need? Probably kindness, shared humanity, someone to diffuse the tension lovingly. Rewrite, you make the mistake and people laugh in a light, friendly way. Someone says, "Oh my gosh, I've done that exact same thing," and the group moves on easily. Or your current self steps into the memory, smiles, and says, "Yep, that happened. It's okay. It's actually kind of cute." Replay, focusing on the feeling of being safe, accepted, and allowed to be imperfect. Soon you may notice that you can shrug off new awkward moments instead of collapsing into shame. Example 4. Revising a rejection. Original memory. You poured your heart into a relationship, a project, an application, or a job interview. The answer was no. Maybe the message said, "We've decided to go a different direction." Or the person you cared about said, "I just don't feel the same." How it lives in you now. No one really chooses me. I'm not good enough. I shouldn't get my hopes up. It hurts too much. Revision. Freeze the scene at the moment you see the message or hear the words. Ask, what did I need? Perhaps respect, clarity, kindness, or a sense of being worthy regardless of the outcome. Rewrite. You hear, "This doesn't work for me, but you are a wonderful person with so much to offer. This no is about my path, not your value." Or you insert your current self who wraps an arm around your shoulders and says, "I know this hurts, but their no is not the universe's no. You are still deeply worthy and something better is aligning for you." Replay until the feeling of being inherently valuable, even in the face of no, starts to take root. Over time, you may find it easier to risk again, to apply, to love, to create, because one rejection doesn't automatically turn into a lifelong identity. 5. How revision changes your self-concept. The real magic of revision is not that you get a nicer mental movie. The real magic is that it slowly rewrites who you believe yourself to be. Each unhealed memory is like a tiny voice in your mind saying, "See, that's who you are. You're the one who messes up. You're the one who gets laughed at. You're the one nobody chooses." When you revise, you're changing those voices to, "You were always worthy of kindness. You are allowed to learn without being shamed. You are safe to be imperfect and still loved. You are someone people want in their lives." As you stack revised memories, you begin to feel more at ease in your own skin. You stop expecting humiliation around every corner. You're more willing to speak up, try new things, and show your true self. Your relationships improve because you're not acting from a wounded child script, but from a more grounded adult you. You're not erasing your story, you're giving it a new, kinder interpretation, one that empowers you instead of crushing you. 6. A guided revision exercise you can do right now. Let's walk through a gentle revision together. Please only do this if you're in a safe, quiet place where you can close your eyes for a few minutes. Step 1. Choose a mild to moderate memory. Think of something that still bothers you, but isn't your deepest trauma. Maybe a moment of criticism, a small humiliation, a time someone didn't show up for you, a situation where you froze instead of speaking up. Got it? Good. Step 2, get comfortable. Sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Let your shoulders relax. Place your hands loosely on your lap or by your sides. Take a slow breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do this 3 to 4 times. Step 3. Bring up the old scene. Gently let the memory come into focus. Where are you? How old are you? Who else is there? What's about to happen? Let it play up to the point where the hurt is about to peak. Then, mentally, hit pause. Step 4. Ask your younger self what they need. Imagine walking into the scene as you are today, older, wiser, more compassionate. See your younger self. Notice their face, their posture, their eyes. Ask them, "Hey, I see you. What do you need right now? What would help you feel safe, loved, and supported?" Don't force an answer. Just notice what comes up. Maybe they say, "I need someone to tell me it's not my fault. I need a hug. I need someone to stand up for me. I need to not be alone in this room." Step 5. Change the scene. Now let the scene continue, but this time you respond to that need. This might look like you step between your younger self and the other person and say calmly, "Enough." You will speak kindly or not at all. You wrap your younger self in a hug and lead them out of that place. The other person softens, apologizes, or chooses different words. The crowd responds differently, supportively, gently, respectfully. Be creative. You are the director now. Any change that feels healing is welcome. Step 6. Feel the new outcome. Let the revised scene finish in a way that feels good. You and your younger self walk away together. They smile with relief or gratitude. You hear words like, "You are safe now," "You are loved," "You did nothing wrong," "You are wonderful the way you are." Breathe into the feeling of this. Let your body register. The lighter shoulders, the softer chest, the warmth in your heart or stomach. Replay the revised scene 2 to 3 times, each time letting it feel more natural. Step 7. Bring that feeling back. When you're ready, slowly bring your attention back to the room. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take another gentle breath. Open your eyes. Notice how you feel, maybe calmer, maybe emotional, maybe surprisingly peaceful. Whatever you feel is okay. You've just practiced revision, choosing a more loving reality inside, which will ripple outward over time. 7. Using revision in everyday life. You can use revision not only for distant memories, but also for today and even little moments from a few hours ago. A. Revising the day before sleep. At night, before bed, you can quickly review your day and revise any moments that felt off. Maybe you snapped at someone and regret it. You felt ignored in a meeting. You hesitated instead of speaking up. In your imagination, go back to that scene. See yourself responding in the way you wish you had, calm, kind, confident. Hear others responding more positively, or see the situation unfolding more gently. Feel the satisfaction of that better outcome. This begins to teach your mind, "This is how we handle things now," making it more likely that you'll naturally respond that way next time. B. Revising self criticism. If you catch yourself thinking, "I always do this, I'm such an idiot," you can revise the thought itself. Original: "I always fail." Revised: "I'm learning, sometimes I stumble, and that's okay. I'm growing stronger." Say it with warmth, not sarcasm. Feel the difference in your body. C. Revising old labels. Remember a time someone labeled you lazy, too sensitive, too loud, too quiet. Go back to that scene. See the person saying something kinder instead, or see your current self standing up and saying, "No, I am thoughtful, caring, or expressive. My traits are not flaws, they just weren't understood." Replay until that revised interaction feels like the real emotional truth. 8. A few gentle reminders. You don't have to start with your hardest memories. Begin with something small. Build trust in the process. You are not crazy for doing this. Imagination is a powerful and natural tool. You've already been replaying memories. Revision just steers that habit in a healing direction. You're not pretending it never happened. You're choosing not to keep drinking emotional poison from it every day. You're updating the story in a way that honors your worth. Tears are welcome. Feeling grief, anger, or relief during revision is a sign that your heart is processing and releasing. Let it. 9. Stepping into a kinder story. You can't go back in time and change what people did or said, but you can go back in your heart and change what you carry from those moments. Revision is a loving skill. You become the wise, compassionate presence your younger self needed. You reshape memories into messages of worth instead of wounds. You free your present self to respond and create from strength, not just from old pain. Even revising one memory can soften your shoulders, open your chest, and change how you walk into tomorrow. So choose one scene, no matter how small. Close your eyes, breathe, and bring love into that moment. You are not stuck with the first version of your story. You are the author now. And with every revised scene, you are quietly writing yourself into a brighter, gentler, more empowered life.